The J. Michaels Show.
Welcome to this episode. We are talking with Eric Altman, who has a huge event coming up, the a Bigfoot Camping Adventure. And we're going to be talking about Bigfoot. So let's see and hear Eric and say hello. Hi, Eric.
Hey Jay, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good, doing good. You know, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've been to Pennsylvania. How are you doing up there, and how's the whole Bigfoot adventure going?
Doing okay up here. Just keeping busy and still investigating and getting out in the woods and running the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society and hosting a big charity event late this summer, and yeah, just keeping busy, man. It's been a while since we've caught up.
I know it, and I wanted to ask you: is there any new news, any new sightings of Bigfoot recently?
Oh yeah, I've had several sightings in the last couple of months from different places across Pennsylvania. The most recent one I got was out near Altoona. A guy was walking on a hiking trail, walking his dog, and the hiking trails it gets pretty remote, but he's in the area of Altoona, Pennsylvania, which is southern central PA, and he came across what he thought was a bear going up a really steep embankment off to his right, and he stopped, and the dog stopped, and he kind of watched it for a little bit, and he thought it was a bear until it actually got up on its hind legs and walked up the rest of the embankment, and disappeared from sight. Never looked at him, but he saw the back of it, and he saw a side profile of it for a few seconds. But that was most recent, and that happened at the beginning of this month. And before that, we've had a handful of reports come in from eastern Pennsylvania out near State College, and out in, I guess it's closest to Reading, Pennsylvania, which is also in the east, a suburb city of Philadelphia. And I have one here in my backyard that's been going on now for several years that I keep in touch with the eyewitnesses, and they call me to report any recent sightings. And they had a recent sighting just as recent as about 3 weeks ago. So yeah, things are still hopping here in Pennsylvania and keeping me busy, and it never stops.
Wow. Wow. And so any new videos come up?
I don't have anything video wise. I haven't seen anything out on the internet video wise, or any pictures from Pennsylvania for a while. Yeah, I'm not aware of anything. I know I personally have captured some strange audio a few years ago. That's the most recent audio evidence I'm aware of. And I casted 3 out of 4 footprints that were found in a little town called Roaring Springs, Pennsylvania, in April of last year. So it'll be almost a year since I cast those tracks. But other than that, no new evidence has really come out that can be shared on the internet with the public.
Well, you've got an event coming up, the Bigfoot Camping Adventure. That's going to be in August. So the people who attend this event, will they be in these areas where all these sightings have occurred?
The area where we're having the event historically has quite a number of sightings, and that dates back to I want to say the 1930s, late 1920s, early 1930s. And it continues up to modern time. There haven't been any sightings where I'm at, but or where the event is at for the last year or so. But there's always sightings going on in this area, and like I said, historically, there's quite a number of the sightings going on. The area is known as the Chestnut Ridge in southwestern Pennsylvania, and it's got a long history of reports, like I said, dating back probably to the 1850s. And they range. I think what I should do is explain what the Chestnut Ridge is first to everybody.
Sure.
The Chestnut Ridge is the furthest western ridge of the Allegheny Mountains, the furthest western ridge of the Appalachians, and it runs from Indiana County down to Westmoreland County, Fayette County, and settles into the hills around Morgantown, West Virginia. So it's about 80 miles long,
Hmm.
several miles wide. And historically, this area, as I mentioned, has had quite a number of sightings, probably hundreds of them over the last 150, 200 years. And they still go on. But this area is also known for other strange phenomenon. UFOs are reported frequently. There are so many haunted locations, both residential and business. Um, it's an amazing area and a really cool place that I researched. I've been researching for the last 28 years. The French and Indian War that took place in the 1750s began where literally like a mile from where we're having the event. So it has a lot of history, a lot of strange paranormal and cryptid activity, UFO activity. So that's why we chose this area. This is our fifth event coming up, and we've had some strange things happen when we've done the event in the area. So we keep going back, and we have a great campground that welcomes us, and they've kind of bought into the whole Bigfoot phenomenon, and they advertise Bigfoot in their general store through T-shirts and posters and various novelty items in their stores. So they kind of adopted the moniker of Bigfoot in their campground. So that's why they keep having us back.
Uh-huh. So this is an area that you would kind of say is a Bigfoot target-rich environment, right?
Oh, without a doubt, yeah. And one of the aspects of the camping adventure that we do is we take people out on guided tour night hikes in an area where there have been sightings within the last couple of years. I know the group I took out last year with former park ranger Tim Cassidy. He and I led a group out on the Saturday night, and we had rocks thrown at us.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still aware that there's activity going on, and yeah, so we try to keep it in that area so people can, if they want to go exploring on their own and look for Bigfoot, they can do that, but they're going to be camping right on Bigfoot's back door. So
Wow. Wow. Okay, so your adventure is coming up August 22nd through the 23rd. You're going to have vendors and speakers and workshops and of course food, a lot of fun there. Who all will be at this event that will be speaking?
well, the event itself is a charity fundraiser event,
Mm-hmm.
and this is our fifth one. We started it in 2016. And the whole premise of this was before Bigfoot festivals really became a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
We wanted to try to do an outdoor event because, as you know, there was so many Bigfoot conferences going on indoors.
Mm-hmm.
So we thought we'd put something together where we could give people the opportunity to camp in an area where there's been Bigfoot sightings, attend and listen to workshops, presenters, and show them how to make casts, what tools to use, what equipment to use, how to do various things when researching, so they could learn from people who've had experience at it. Hear from some great speakers, maybe meet a couple of celebrity guests and pick their brain and ask them questions about the Bigfoot phenomenon. And it's all for charity. The money we raise, the net proceeds are donated to two local charities in the area. And this upcoming event, as you mentioned, August 22nd and 23rd, it's going to feature some people that you know as well.
Mm-hmm.
Lyle Blackburn
Oh, yeah.
from Texas, and he's probably most well known for being an author. He's written multiple books on different cryptids, but I think his probably his most well known moniker is being one of the leading authorities on the Fouke, Arkansas creature, or better known as the Boggy Creek Beast or the Fouke Monster.
Right.
And he's going to be there talking about the Fouke Monster and some of the weird things that go on down in the Gulf states. We've got Dr. Jeffrey Meldrum,
Oh,
which
yeah.
everybody knows Dr. Meldrum.
Yeah.
The
Great
leading
guy.
sci-
Interviewed him once.
Oh yeah, he is a great guy, and he's coming back for his second event with us, and he's probably the leading scientific authority on the subject of Bigfoot. He's an anthropologist and a primate anatomist from Idaho State University, and he's coming in. He's going to be bringing some casts with him. He's going to be doing a lecture on Bigfoot itself, and I'm not sure the exact topic, but he he changes his topics every time he speaks, so he's never at a loss for information. We're also having Ron Moorhead, and everybody knows Ron, the Sierra Sounds from 1972 through 74 in the Sierra Mountains of Northern California. He'll be there talking about his experience and the sounds themselves, along with some of his research he's done over the years. He's kind of drifted from the typical Bigfoot flesh and blood theory to more of a quantum physics theory about Bigfoot, which is kind of interesting to hear about. And then lastly, our special guests are from the TV show Mountain Monsters, a couple members of the Ames team. That's the Appalachian Investigators of Mysterious Sightings, Jeff Headley and Willie McQuillan. And on the show, those who know who Jeff is, he's the researcher of the group, and Willie is the trap maker of the group. So those are our special guests who will be appearing at the event. Our speakers, I'll run down through them really quickly because we have quite a list of speakers here. PA UFO Bigfoot researcher Stan Gordon, author and researcher from Pennsylvania Ron Murphy, author Stephen Schneider from over in Ohio, West Virginia researcher Dave Spinks, New York researcher the Squatch detective Steve Calls, from Wisconsin Jay Bachochin, coming in from New Jersey Mike Famelant, and a couple guys that you probably know, Sean Forker and Matt Arner.
Yeah, I've had Sean on the show here.
Yep. And then we've got Kenny Irish, and they call him the crypto-punkologist. And lastly, former park ranger, naturalist, wildlife authority Tim Cassidy will be joining us as well for the speaker lineup.
Yeah, Tim's a great guy. So these workshops, you will be able to learn how to do plaster casts, what to look for in the wild, classes on photography, lots of wonderful. Tell me about the workshops.
Yeah, this year, due to time constraints, we've kind of overloaded ourselves on speakers, but this year we do have a workshop that's being done by he's a law enforcement officer coming down from New York. His name is Mike Ann, and he runs the Tactical Bigfoot Group out of New York. And he's going to be doing a workshop on various types of equipment and technology that you can, affordable technology that you can use to take into the woods with you. Last year at our event, we had a workshop where it was just all cast making, how to properly identify, measure, take pictures and video, document as much as you could before making plaster, or I shouldn't say plaster castings, but whether it's be dental stone or quick concrete or whatever you're going to use, how to make plaster moldings or castings. And that was very successful. But Mike's going to be doing a workshop on what kind of tools to use, and some of the latest technological tools. He has a 3D scanner to take scannings of footprints. So if you find something in the wild and you don't necessarily have plaster making material or casting material with you, you can use this app, which is on an iPhone or an Android phone, that allows you to take a 3D image of that print in the ground. And it's almost as good as the plaster moldings. You can see all the details and everything. So Mike will be doing the workshops on that, showing different types of FLIRs that you can use, night vision, possibly even LiDAR, which is ground
penetrating radar. Is that what it is? Yeah.
Yeah, it gives you an idea of what the surface of the ground looks like and the topography, and you can get a better idea of if you're looking at footprints, you can use the LiDAR for that as well. So he's got a lot of really cool technological tools that he's going to be showing and giving people a chance to use and play with, so they have an understanding about it. And when they go out in the field to do research, they can use some of these latest technological gadgets to record and record audio and video and still pictures. So it's a pretty good aspect for people who aren't familiar with what to use when they go out in the forest. Some of the toys they can take out with them.
Okay, good. Just a quick programming note. I've noticed in my headphones here that we're getting a little digital audio glitches, and that's Zoom. That's not us, so we apologize for that. But you're still clear, and people can hear what you're saying, and make it out, even though it might glitch every moment. Every now and then. But I also wanted to ask you, where can you get tickets for this event?
But we have a website set up that they can go right to the website, and there's a ticket link on there. It's www.pabigfootcampingadventure.com.
Mm-hmm.
It's all one word, all lowercase. Again, pabigfootcampingadventure.com. And they can pick up tickets there. They can get tickets for Friday, which are $25, Saturday, which is $30, or both days for $50. And as I mentioned, all the net proceeds, we don't pocket anything. We pay for the expenses of the event, and anything over what's paid for the event is donated to some local area charities. And last year, we were able to raise almost $7,600, which we donated to an animal shelter and a child's charity for underprivileged children. Mm-hmm. So we were very proud of that. We were able to give each charity, I believe, $3,300 each.
Wow.
So a pretty nice chunk of change.
Yeah. Yeah. And the event itself is paid for through that also. But you guys are you're gonna feed everyone there, right?
Oh yeah. We've got some great food trucks coming back. Last year we had a Hunt Chef food truck, and they did a variety of barbecued ribs, brisket, wings, all kinds of barbecued sandwiches, and they were the big hit of the event. Everybody loved the food from Hunt Chef, and they're going to be coming back again this year. Plus, we have a variety of different types of food. We've got a Tex-Mex vendor. We've got a vendor with popcorn. I want to say popcorn, cotton candy, and then the snow cones. They're going to be offering treats for the kids for that. We've got a vendor coming in doing something quite unique that was actually popular last year. They're doing waffles on a stick with a variety of different toppings. And what I mean by that is there was like a buffalo chicken waffle. There was a barbecue chicken waffle, one with a variety of different types of beef, and they have so many different varieties of waffles with different toppings on it. It was amazing, and I loved it myself. I thought it was fantastic. But I think we have a total of 5 food trucks coming in, and a variety of different foods, and everybody can belly up to the food truck and fill their tummies and have a filling meal right there at the campgrounds.
Absolutely. Okay, now also on your flyer, it mentions that you have night walks. What is a night walk? What are you going to do?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, those are our night hikes. And for people who buy tickets, they can sign up for one of the 4 night hikes. We want to try to give everybody the opportunity to go. So what they consist of is the night hike on Friday night from 8 to 9:30 or 10 to 11:30. And we take them out of the campground to a location where there's been sightings and activity and strange sounds reported and footprints found. It's a pretty active area and it remains to be active, but we take them out in the woods for about an hour and a half. They can use some of the tools that the guides that will take them out have with them. They can see how to use a thermal FLIR or night vision. They can do knocks on the trees. They can do howls and calls and see if they get a response. And it gives them the opportunity to see what it's like to go out in the woods at night looking for Bigfoot. And that has been one of our big draws over the last 5 years that we've done this. People love the night hikes because it's an opportunity for them to go out and look for Bigfoot for themselves and see what it's like, and get to use some of the toys and maybe hear something. Like I mentioned, Tim Cassidy and I had rocks thrown at us with last year's hike. People have heard howls and screams. Footprints have been found on some of the night hikes that they not sure what made it, but it's a pretty big impression in the ground. But people have had experiences out there. We can't condone or we can't say that they were Bigfoot, but some pretty strange things have happened on those hikes, and people enjoy them. It's a big draw for the event.
Wow. So this is something that you could bring your own audio recorders, your own cameras, your own equipment, and get some evidence yourself of possibly the existence of Bigfoot.
Exactly. And yeah, it just gives people the opportunity. Like I said, the moniker's Bigfoot Camping Adventure. So they can camp in a campground that's
Hmm.
right in the heart of Bigfoot territory. They can go out on an adventure at night on the night hike and see what it's like to look for Bigfoot. So I think it pretty much sums up the name of the event. They can have an adventure, they can camp, they get listen to some really cool speakers, have fun, do all things Bigfooty. So it's
Yeah.
a good time.
Yeah. So is this something that you would bring your RV to, or just a tent, or what would you need to attend this event?
Well, the campground has about 12 cabins. I think there's about 6 to 8 yurts.
Uh-huh.
And for people who don't know what a yurt is, it's a round temporary, or I should say round permanent structure that looks like kind of like an igloo, but it's actually made of canvas. It has bunk beds in it, has air conditioning and heat, and a couple of small, like little appliances and stuff like that. But it has the yurts, which are kind of like tents, but permanent structures. It has RV camping sites so that if people want to bring their RVs in, they can back right into a site and hook up to electric or non electric or however they want to camp. And it's got several campsites. I think there's about 20 to 25 individual campsites, and they have group camping, and there's plenty of space for everybody to get a campsite. So, my advice is if you're going to get tickets, make sure you call Benner's Meadow Run Campgrounds where we're holding the event and reserve your campsite, your RV site. I know the cabins are sold out. They went really quickly this year,
Yeah.
but I think there's still some yurts left, some campsites left, and RV sites as well.
Now it's in August. Is there generally in Pennsylvania? Is there like a mosquito issue or anything like that?
Like any state, there's always issues with insects.
Yeah.
Um, we have our share of mosquitoes. This year, I believe, um, what are those nasty little critters called that come out every 13 years? Um, not the katydids, but yeah, there's some kind of insect that comes around every 13 years, and it's annoying. It makes a lot of sound in the woods.
Hmm.
But other than that, yeah, we've got our the same insects everyone else has.
Well,
Giant mosquitoes and bees and flies and all that stuff.
with the yurts and the cabins and all like that, if you're trying to get your wife to come with you, you can kind of advertise it to her as a glamping event because there is air conditioning and
Right.
she's not going to be stuck in a tent in the woods, and so it's something for the whole family, right?
Absolutely. And we encourage families, husbands and wives to bring their children
Mm-hmm.
because children under 12 with a paid adult get in free.
Mm-hmm.
So mom and dad can bring out their kids. As long as they're under the age of 12, they get in for free to the event. And we always have a whole bunch of kids coming out. And there's, as you know, so many kids are interested in Bigfoot and find it fascinating that this is a great adventure for them to come, meet people they've seen on TV
Mm-hmm.
or talk to researchers who actually do the field research and maybe go out in the woods with their parents with us at night and see what it's like to do a Bigfoot hike and look for Bigfoot and do the whoops and the calls and the wood knocks and kids love this stuff. They
Yeah.
absolutely love it.
You mentioned also the speakers. Some of them are authors. Will they have? Of course, they're going to do workshops, but will they have booths and books for sale?
Yeah, a lot of the speakers are authors, as you mentioned, and they will have their own books available for sale. Jay Bachochin is a filmmaker, and he'll have his movie Finding J3 debuting at the Camping Adventure. It's his third movie he's put out. And some of the other guys are, they have a whole bunch of different Bigfoot items to sell, as do the vendors who will be there. Last year we had over 50 vendors. We're hoping for more this year. And we've got some really cool people coming out to the event. There'll be a lot of really cool Bigfoot stuff to buy.
Yeah. Well, also you'll have the opportunity to meet these people. I mean, and camp out with them. I mean, Dr. Jeff Meldrum is an anthropologist and could answer all of your questions that you might have about this creature. And then, you have Tim's there and Sean's there and others are there. It's just, I mean, it's like Bigfoot information overload, right?
Yeah, yeah. There's a lot to do at the event. A lot for the families who come out. It's not just walking around and hearing a speaker and leaving. There was a line at the last two events to meet some of the special guests. Last year we had Ken Gerhard, and we had the Mountain Monster guys there, and there was lines for them. And whoever we bring in as a special celebrity guest from some of the TV shows, there's always lines to get their autographs, pictures, buy a cast or a book. And
Hmm.
even with the speakers, there's lines at their booths too, because people want to talk to them and ask them questions about Bigfoot and their experiences and that sort of thing. So, yeah, a lot of really cool things to do, and it's not just the speakers. You can do the workshops. We're gonna have a bonfire. We have a DJ coming in to do karaoke on
Hmm.
Friday night and Saturday night. So if they want to sing and party and have a good time, they can do that as well.
Almost every community now, somewhere in America, there is a Bigfoot group. I know they have them in Georgia and Alabama and Louisiana and Mississippi and here in Texas we've got a couple of groups. All the states have something, and so will there be representatives of some of those local groups available for, say, if someone comes in from Virginia or wherever, will there be people there that are local to them and they could join their local group that goes to look for Bigfoot?
Well, we really haven't had many other Bigfoot groups come to the event
Hmm.
in the past, but they're certainly welcome to get a vendor booth and set up and put flyers out there, brochures, and meet the public because there are people that come from all over the country to this. We have people coming from California and Florida and Texas and a variety of different states. And I encourage people that if they want to get the word out about their group and they want to meet people coming in from different parts of the country, this is a great opportunity to do that. Get a vendor spot, set up a booth, and display your group's information and talk to the people that come.
Yeah, and so you talked about some of the hot spots in that area of Bigfoot activity. When you go on these night walks, are you going into those specific areas where you've pulled evidence out of there?
Yes, for the night hikes on Friday and Saturday night, this area has had multiple sightings, numerous audio reports of people hearing screams and howls and whoops and growls. Footprints have been found in this area, not just by myself, but other researchers. And I've investigated dozens of sightings in this area. So we're taking them into an area that has a rich history of encounters and sightings and evidence recorded and collected. So that's what it's a safe area to go into. It's not something they're going to be climbing up a high mountain, having to rappel and go down into deep ravines and valleys. It's a safe walk because we're taking the public out. So of course we have to be safe,
Right.
and we have to follow guidelines and whatnot. But yeah, it's a area with a lot of activity. It's part of the Chestnut Ridge, which, as I mentioned earlier, has a long history of all kinds of paranormal phenomenon, not just Bigfoot, but other cryptids and UFOs and haunted locations. And yeah, it's a really cool area for them to experience, hopefully have an experience while they're out there in the woods.
So, there's a lot of people who are very, very, very serious about this Bigfoot subject. And so, if someone wanted to branch off and go off into their own direction and do something on their own, would there be places you can send them to where they can quietly research themselves?
Oh, the area that we're going to be in has a lot of private land and some public land as well. So if they look at a map and they want to go to a specific area, I can let them know, hey, there's been sightings near there, or no, that's not a really active place, and just kind of give them a little bit of guidance as to where they could go to maybe have an experience if they want to do some research on their own.
Hmm.
There are so many hiking trails and areas that are secluded that are public that they can go to, but there's also a lot of private land as well, so you kind of have to be careful with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I can encourage people if they're serious researchers and they want to come up and attend the event. And maybe instead of going on the night hikes with groups of people, they can go out on their own and sit anywhere, basically, pull off the side of the road and you're in the woods. So
Hmm.
they can go pretty much anywhere and do their own research if they'd like.
So, what are you going to be doing at the event? What's going to keep you busy?
Everything. um, this is my fifth event that I've organized, and I have a team that I work with now that we've kind of put in place since 2019. And being kind of like the head organizer, the head planner and host, I do the MC work, introducing the speakers, and I put out fires, small fires all through the weekend. So there's always something going on, keeping me running. And there's a problem up at the gate. The machine isn't working to take credit cards. Okay, I'll be right there. Or one of the food trucks, his electricity isn't working. Okay, we'll get maintenance down that to handle that. Or this person wants to talk to you about a hike. They didn't get on the list for a hike, but they want to go. Okay, I'll be over to talk to them about that. So I'm running in every different direction. Also trying to MC and make sure that the guests, the speakers, the special celebrities, everybody is enjoying themselves. Nobody needs anything. Everybody's taken care of. So it's running around in every different direction. And from Thursday before the event, when I pick people up at the airport and bring them down to the campgrounds, till Sunday after the event, running people back to the airport, uh, we're setting up canopies, chairs, vendor tents. It's nonstop and even before that, I'm running stuff up to the storage shed up there on the mountain. So it's a full-time job, Jay. It
Right.
really is. From organizing, planning, promoting, getting the word out, and then actually setting up the day before the event, getting everything organized and ready to go. The event itself, Friday, Saturday, when the event's over Sunday, and then tearing everything down, putting everything away for the next year's event. It's a full time job,
Wow.
and We usually start maybe a year before the event is announced. We get as much publicity as I'm sure you've seen me putting out things on social media every couple days. Um, Sending out press releases to various newspaper outlets and magazines, radio stations, TV stations, getting flyers. I spent this past weekend with one of the organizers, Tom Mehawk, and I, running around throughout Fayette County where the event's being held, hitting gas stations, putting flyers up all throughout the area. So and we're 5 months out, so it's nonstop. It's every day we're doing something to promote and get the word out and hopefully draw people into the event.
How many people are you expecting to attend or be there as guests?
It's hard to put a number on how many people come because in 2019, before COVID, we had probably close to 1,000 people show
Wow.
up for the weekend, and
Wow.
we had a really nice turnout. The campground was overflowed. The campground organizers and the owners were really pleased with the event. Then COVID hit in 2019, 2020. We shut down things for a couple of years, and I wanted to wait until I knew it was completely safe to bring it back. So 2024, we did it again.
Hmm.
Last year, our numbers were down, but I think that had to do with so many other festivals in the area, as well as the economy. And I think there were multiple factors. So we had about 400 to 500 people,
Hmm.
which was still a good turnout. We were happy with being away for 5 years and coming back. This year, we're not sure what to expect. We could have a large turnout. We could have a small turnout. It depends on what people are willing to spend to buy tickets and come out and support us. And so we really don't know what to expect. I'm hoping for at least 500,
Hmm.
and hopefully we get lucky and get more than that. But it all depends on who buys tickets and who shows up the days of the event.
You were talking about how you're going to be running around and making sure that everything at the event is taken care of. Are you also going to be presenting yourself?
No, I don't present it at my events. And the reason I speak everywhere. I've been speaking since 2000 all over the country. And this is an event to give other researchers the opportunity to speak. I've spoken so much, people get tired of me. But this is from, and with me having to host and to organize and run around and do things, I really don't have the time to do it because I'll be emceeing.
Right.
So I bring in people that have spoken around the area or have maybe not spoken around the area. We've got a couple new people coming in this year. Matt Arner, which I mentioned. Sean has spoken at the East Coast Bigfoot Conference, which I hosted. But we have some other people coming in that haven't spoken before, like Steven Schneider. We've got Kenny Irish coming in, Matt Arner, Mike Familant. They have not spoken at our event, Tim Cassidy, so they're going to get the opportunity to speak this year. And yeah, it's just for me, I think speaking would be just too much,
Right.
too much on my plate.
Right.
So I
I
kind of like to
understand.
give the opportunity to other people.
Yeah, I understand. Do you have another group in that area that meets regularly, like monthly?
We used to do that when I first got into field research back in the mid 90s. We had a monthly meeting for members of our group as well as the outside public. We stopped doing that when we got into the like 2010s and early 2020s. Just it got to be so hard to try to manage a monthly meeting along with everything else that I'm doing. So I kind of put that on the back burner. We may do that again, start that up again, but there are other groups in the area that hold monthly meetings, and yeah, they have a small crowd. They go to like a restaurant and have in maybe 10 or 20 people come up for the meetings, and they
Hmm.
talk about the recent sightings and what's going on activity wise. But my group, the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society, we really don't do that as much as we used to. And it's not because we don't want to, but we just have limited time, and it's difficult to try to organize so many things.
Right. Right. I wanted to give you a chance also to plug up. Do you have a podcast or do you regularly appear on a podcast where you promote all of your Bigfoot activities?
I no longer have a podcast. Well, I shouldn't say I don't do a podcast anymore. As you know, I did a pardon me, a podcast called Beyond the Edge Radio.
Hmm.
And Sean Forker and I founded that in 2007. And that ran up to about 2019. And that itself was a full-time job. As you know, doing podcasts, it's a lot of work involved in it. And
Yes.
I was doing a weekly show on Sunday nights. It was a live show. And then we formatted over to a podcast so people could listen to the downloaded archives. And I think we did close to 500 or 600 shows over the years.
Hmm.
And we put an end to that in 2019. I've brought it kind of back in a few times on StreamYard where we've had some guests on, just kind of like specialty shows like a Halloween show, or we did a couple last year to promote the camping adventure. I've appeared on so many podcasts throughout the years. I've lost track. I would hundreds of them I've done, and I don't have one in particular that I show up on a regular basis. I just when people say, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast?" I jump on and talk about Bigfoot research in Pennsylvania, what I've been up to, and promote any events coming up, and like the camping adventure, that sort of thing. So I keep busy with doing that. I couldn't even tell you, Jay, how many podcasts I've done. I
Wow.
know you and I had a thing going years ago with conundrums,
Uh
if you
huh.
remember that. And
Yes.
I came on the show several times and we talked about Bigfoot and had a great time.
Yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed that a lot. After this event in August, come October, you are a huge, huge Halloween fan and you
Yeah.
decorate your yard enormously. Tell me about getting ready for Halloween and what all you do.
Well, it's really tricky to try to juggle everything I do and do Halloween. So I put Bigfoot stuff on hold for October. I may do an event the very beginning of October. My October is dedicated to Halloween,
Hmm.
and I've been doing Halloween decorating. I started in my parents' yard back in, I guess, maybe 1988, 89. And I would stuff dummies with rags and towels and newspapers and put props up on their porch. And my brother-in-law and I, we worked together and built like an actual working guillotine. And we had a hangman's noose in the yard. We did it for the kids that came around the neighborhood.
Right.
But over the years, that's evolved into my yard has become the highlight of the town that I live in.
Wow.
We get so many kids, hundreds of kids that come to our house for Halloween. And what I've added to the collection over the years, as you probably have seen,
Oh, yeah.
and my wife isn't too thrilled about it, but she lets me have my fun. We have a graveyard in our front yard that consists of over probably close to 60 resin, blow mold, cement tombstones
Wow.
and graves. We have probably close to 12 to 13 animatronics that range from a graveyard keeper, like a night watchman, to zombies, to a werewolf, to a 12-foot tall skeleton, to different types of bog monsters. I even have one, the swamp monster. It kind of looks like what you would call a Wendigo. And we've got small props. We've got fog machines, laser lights, singing pumpkins that I put out in the yard that I have a digital display that displays the face on the pumpkin, and they sing to different Halloween songs. And I go all out. I've got lighting like you wouldn't believe. I've got 46 gallon totes that have lights in them, Halloween decorations. I'm running out of places to put them, Jay.
Wow.
But I've been doing this for a long time. Halloween is my favorite holiday of the year. So what Clark Griswold does for Christmas, I do for Halloween.
Wow. Wow. What drew you to the Bigfoot subject originally? Why did you get so involved with Bigfoot?
I grew up with the monster movies of the 70s.
Right.
All the really bad beast monster movies. And it was in 1980 that I came across Legend of Boggy Creek and Creature from Black Lake. And being a monster fan, at 10 years old, I was thinking to myself, well, okay, well, maybe these are just monster movies. And as they turned out to be, they were more along the lines of documentaries about people having encounters with monsters. So that kind of intrigued me into wanting to learn more about it, to see if there was really monsters out there. So I went to my local library in Greensburg, Pennsylvania, and I found they had a section of paranormal books, encrypted books, and UFO books. And so I started looking through them, and I came across a book by John Green called Sasquatch, the Apes Among Us. And in that book, there was a small section about Pennsylvania. And the guy in that book, Stan Gordon, grew up and he was doing Bigfoot research in my hometown of Greensburg, Pennsylvania. So I wanted to find out more. So I went to the newspaper archives and found there were articles about Bigfoot sightings taking place in my hometown, literally a couple miles from where I was living at with my parents.
Wow.
And I was hooked. I was like, man, there's live monsters out there. I want to see one. I want to know about it. I want to learn what it does. So from the age of 10 till probably in my early 20s, I educated myself on the subject. I read every book possible, every magazine article I could find, Reader's Digest, Popular Mechanics occasionally had a Bigfoot article in there. There were so many outdoor wildlife magazines that had articles about Bigfoot, and books and newspaper articles, and I started to collect them and build up a pretty decent collection. And I was about 13 years old when I met Stan Gordon, who was in Apes Among Us, Sasquatch Apes Among Us, and he was actually doing a Bigfoot UFO display at our local mall, which was really cool. When you're 13 years old and you're in love with monster movies and learning about monsters, and you can go to a place that actually shows you pictures of footprints and newspaper articles that talk about Bigfoot sightings, and meet a guy that's actually out there in the woods doing Bigfoot research and talking to witnesses and making plaster casts. And Stan had 3 groups that he did that with back in the 70s and early 80s. you're a 13-year-old kid, Jay. You're hooked.
Yeah.
And yeah, from there, it just kind of snowballed into field research. I did go to college from 1988 to 1992. So I kind of put Bigfooting on the back burner, so to speak, for a little bit, but I never fell out of being in love with the Bigfoot phenomenon. I always just kind of kept it at arm's length so that if I wanted to start reading about it, I could. Um, I met my wife and I kept my Bigfoot stuff kind of low key because I didn't want to scare her off.
Right.
But after we got married, I told her, this is what I do for fun. I go out and research and look for Bigfoot and talk to witnesses. And she was like, okay, you do your thing, I'll do mine, kind of thing. And so I guess it was in 96, 97, I got into actual field research.
Hmm.
I met a guy named Don Keating from Ohio, and he was holding a Bigfoot conference in 96 that I went to. And I met him, and I met a whole bunch of other Bigfoot researchers like Larry Batson and Lauren Coleman and Smokey Crabtree. And I was talking real monster hunters. These guys were out there looking for it. And I
Right.
thought, well, maybe I can give it a shot and see what I can find. And yeah, since the mid 1990s till present, I've been at it nonstop looking for Bigfoot and talking to witnesses and doing field research, both proactive and reactive. And yeah, I've been at this a long time.
Yes. Yeah. I remember in 1973, I saw The Legend of Boggy Creek on at the theater. I mean, we were kids, and it scared the bejesus out of me. And I thought, oh my gosh, because there's one point at the beginning of the movie where they show a map of like Louisiana and Texas and Mississippi, and it's sort of squeezed together where it looks like Mississippi is a lot closer to Arkansas than it actually is.
Mm.
And I thought, oh my gosh, that thing could walk down here. It would be right in my backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I got very into it. Okay, so we're talking about your Bigfoot camping adventure. It's going to be August 22nd and 23rd of this year. You're
Right.
planning everything right now to get people to come. You're expecting a whole lot of people. Got all kinds of fun and interesting things happening. And so, what I'd kind of like you to do is just sort of recap an invitation to everyone and ask them to come to your event.
Well, thank you, Jay. Yeah, we'd like to invite everybody, whether you're a researcher, you're experienced in an experienced outdoorsman, you're experienced in the Bigfoot phenomenon, you're an enthusiast, you have a mild interest in the subject, or you just like the outdoors in general. We invite everybody to come check us out.
Hmm.
We are a charity fundraiser event, and we have been for the last 5 years. And this helps out some local area charities. And we teach people that may be not familiar with the Bigfoot subject about Bigfoot.
Hmm.
We have guest speakers who present on their research and talk about local area sightings in the tri-state area. We've got a variety of different backgrounds coming in from all over the place: New Jersey, New York, Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania. So this area is rich with researchers, and they'll be there talking about their research. We have
Hmm.
workshops at the event, which will give you a hands-on opportunity to see some of the tools that Bigfoot researchers use, some of the technology we're using to try to collect evidence and prove the phenomenon exists. And it gives you a chance to talk with researchers at the workshops and ask them questions about how do I make a cast, or how do I record a sound, or what kind of camera should I use when I'm going out into the woods. So it's a great way to learn through the workshops of how to do Bigfoot research.
Hmm.
Then we invite people on the nights after the event on Friday and Saturday night to go out in the woods and experience for themselves what it's like to look for Bigfoot. We take out groups of people into areas that have been known for active sightings and encounters and different things heard and footprints found. There's a very rich history of Bigfoot in that area where we're taking people to. You can watch movies about Bigfoot. Jay Bachurchin will be debuting Finding J3 at the event. We will have music if you like to sing karaoke and sing like a Bigfoot or a banshee. We'll have we call it karaoke. So there will be a karaoke guy there playing songs that you can dance to, and maybe it'll draw on a Bigfoot. We've got a variety of different craft vendors. They'll have a lot of Bigfoot items for sale, T-shirts and knickknacks and mugs and all kinds of things you can think of Bigfoot wise. We'll have several food trucks there. So if you like a variety of different foods, especially carnival foods or like hot sausages or maybe some wings or barbecue ribs or brisket or waffles, whatever the case may be, we'll have it at the event for you to eat while you're there. You can meet some guys that have been on TV, some of your favorite TV shows you've seen these guys, Lyle Blackburn, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, the Ames team guys, Jeff and Willie, Ron Moorhead from the famous Sierra Sounds. These guys have been all over TV. They're pretty well known in the Bigfoot community. And if you're a fan of them, you want to come out and meet them, have them sign a picture for you or sign a Bigfoot cast, it's a great opportunity. And it's family fun for everybody. We encourage parents to bring their children. If you buy an adult ticket, you get a child-free ticket if you're under the age of 12. So there's a lot to do both days, Friday and Saturday. You can camp out with us, hang out with us, talk to researchers, and have a great time, all helping us raise money for two local area charities.
Thank you. Thank you. Fantastic. And it's going to come up August 22nd through 23rd, so you have plenty of time to plan to be there and to plan your vacation around this. Head for Pennsylvania. That's where it's all going down. Eric, thank you so much for being my guest. I really appreciate you and coming on here and telling me all about this event. You're a great guy. I've known you for a while. Really interested in the whole Bigfoot phenomena. Before I let you go, I want to ask your opinion, because everyone has a different opinion on this. What is Bigfoot?
Well, first, let me say thank you, Jay, for having me on. It's great to talk to you, my friend. It's been a while since we've caught up, but like you said, we've known each other for quite a while, and I really appreciate you having me on to promote the event and talk a little Bigfoot with you. It's always fun to talk with you. To answer your question about what Bigfoot is, to be perfectly honest, I have no idea.
Wow.
And the reason I say that is because when I first got into this, I thought this was just a undiscovered primate, as I mentioned, a monster running around in the woods possibly. And I really didn't have an idea of what we could be dealing with because I'm just an amateur guy. I'm not a scientist. I don't have a scientific background or degree, although I did study a little biology in college, but I don't know. It could be a relic hominid. It could be a related ancient species to humans. But the longer I'm in this, the stranger it gets and the more questions I have. So I really don't know what Bigfoot is. There's such a variety of theories and speculation going around about what Bigfoot be. It could be interdimensional. It could be extraterrestrial. It could be a ghost that people are seeing. It could be a flesh and blood actual creature that has not been identified or hasn't been studied by the scientific community yet. So I don't have an answer. And I think that's what makes this a great mystery, because for the past 60, 70 years that we've been actively looking for this creature, we're still no closer than we were when we first started.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you go to the Bigfoot Camping Adventure in August, the 22nd through 23rd, you may be the one that finds some definitive evidence and can prove what this thing is. You never know.
Absolutely. And you have a great time while doing it.
Yeah. Okay, Eric, thank you so much. We will see you next time on The J. Michael Show.
Goodbye.